Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you've been looking into natural remedies at all lately, you've probably, well, definitely heard the buzz around black seed oil. It's kind of the wellness world's darling right now. Today, we're going to do a source-driven look at this ancient remedy. Its other name is Nigella sativa. Yeah, and our sources, they really cover a lot. Millennia of history, its unique biochemical makeup, and a pretty staggering list of benefits that seem to touch, well, almost every part of the body. So our mission here is to cut through that hype, look at the data we have and give you the solid foundation you need to understand why this oil is suddenly everywhere again. We're not just telling you what it is. We really want to get into the how and the why. How does it work? So let's unpack this, starting right at the beginning. What is this stuff? Where does this oil actually come from, and why was it so revered centuries ago?
Right. Setting the stage is important here.
Yeah.
So black seed oil, it comes from the seeds of the Nigella sativa plant. It's this really beautiful flowering plant, mostly found in South Asia and the Middle East. And while, today we see it in little capsules, for thousands of years, the seeds themselves were not just, but they were a staple in cooking, used in breads, curries for that distinct aromatic flavor. But its reputation, it really goes way beyond just food. The ancient respect for this plant is pretty remarkable. Historically, people really saw it as a cure-all, like a remedy for almost anything wrong with you.
And when you dig into the sources, that history isn't just folklore. There are these incredible finds. This is where it gets really cool. They actually found Nigella sativa seeds, physically found them, in Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb in Egypt. Just think about that for a second. Something considered valuable enough, important enough to go with a pharaoh into the afterlife. That tells you it wasn't just some, old wives' tale. It was seriously prized, a royal necessity almost. So what does that history really signal about its perceived power?
It signals it was absolutely central to their idea of well-being. Maybe even survival, that kind of deep historical use. You see it across cultures in ancient Egypt, Greece, and traditional Indian medicine, Ayurveda. It suggests this long-held belief that it worked, and that persistent, almost universal perception of effectiveness. That's what's really fueling its comeback in modern holistic health. It's basically jumped from the pharaoh's tomb right onto, the shelves at your local health store because people kept saying it helped.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. History covered.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the mechanics, the science bit. What's actually in the oil that makes it do all these things? Are there specific compounds doing the heavy lifting?
Yeah, it's fascinating biochemically. Black seed oil is it's a complex mix. You've got fatty acids, minerals, antioxidants, a whole bunch of stuff. But if you want to pinpoint the therapeutic action, there's really one molecule that consistently stands out in the research. It's the star. And that molecule is thymoquinone, usually called TQ.
Thymoquinone. TQ. Okay, I've heard that term pop up before with natural stuff. But what's it actually doing in the body, specifically with inflammation? You mentioned it inhibits inflammatory enzymes. Is that similar to how Advil or aspirin works? What's the mechanism there?
That's a really good practical question. So TQ is a powerful antioxidant, definitely. But its main superpower, you could say, is modulating the body's inflammatory response. It doesn't work exactly like aspirin, but there's a relationship. TQ helps inhibit some key inflammatory middlemen, including compounds involved in the COX pathways. Those are the cyclooxygenase pathways. They're basically the main roads your body uses to create inflammatory chemicals. So by helping to dial down that production line, TQ can offer real measurable relief for conditions basically defined by chronic inflammation and pain. Think rheumatoid arthritis or even the inflammation involved in asthma.
Okay, that's a great scientific nugget. Super helpful. But wait, before we move on, if everything hinges on this TQ molecule, how do we as consumers, make sure we're getting a good product? Are these oils standardized? Do they measure the TQ?
That is such a crucial point. If you want this to actually work, you need to pay attention. The sources are clear. Not all black seed oils are the same. Quality varies a lot. Generally, the best ones are cold pressed. That method helps keep those delicate compounds like TQ intact. And yes, absolutely, for the best therapeutic effect, you should look for oils that actually state a standardized percentage of TQ. Usually you want something specifying at least 1%, maybe higher. If a bottle doesn't even mention TQ content, well, you might just be buying some pricey cooking oil, frankly.
Okay, vital info. Got it. So look for cold-pressed standardized TQ content. Right, so TQ tackles inflammation system-wide, like an internal fire extinguisher. So let's branch out from there. What specific benefits come from that anti-inflammatory and antioxidant power?
Well, we can start with the immune system. Our sources suggest that high antioxidant content acts like a shield, protecting your cells from damage by free radicals. Think of it like preventing rust, but on a cellular level. And beyond that, there's evidence suggesting it can actually boost the activity and production of your immune cells. Makes it a pretty potent natural ally, especially, say, during cold and flu season or just when you feel run down.
Okay, immune support.
Yeah.
And since inflammation is so often systemic, I guess that leads us straight to gut health, right? Is that soothing effect people talk about for digestion just another result of lowering inflammation?
Precisely, yeah. The gut is like a major headquarters for inflammation in the body. Black seed oil has a long traditional use for aiding digestion, soothing that gut lining. Someone called it a little massage for your insides, which is kind of cute, but it gets at how it helps relieve common stuff like indigestion, bloating, and for people with chronic things like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Research suggests that by calming that underlying inflammation, it can really help manage symptoms, foster a healthier gut environment.
That's interesting, especially because we keep hearing more and more about the gut-brain connection. So does this systemic benefit, this calming effect, does it reach all the way up to our mental state? You mentioned a neuroconnection earlier.
Yeah, this is where it gets really fascinating. The oil seems to have potential neuroprotective effects, meaning it helps protect brain cells. And this ability seems largely tied to its knack for reducing oxidative stress, specifically in the brain.
Okay, for those of us not wearing lab coats, what does oxidative stress actually mean in the brain? Is it just those free radicals causing damage, like making brain cells age faster?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, oxidative stress is basically an imbalance. Too many of those unstable molecules, the free radicals, and they overwhelm the brain's natural defenses. This damage can contribute to things like cognitive decline, memory issues, and even emotional imbalances. So, by providing those potent antioxidants like TQ, the oil helps fight back against that stress. It promotes better cognitive health and, proponents argue, might even help ease symptoms of anxiety or mild depression. It's like protecting your most important organ from daily wear and tear.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered internal health pretty well. Let's switch gears completely. What about using it on the outside? Skin and hair. Is this the spa day in a bottle part?
Absolutely. It fits the bill. The oil is packed with fatty acids, which makes it incredibly moisturizing. It's fantastic for dry skin, dry hair. And we saw several anecdotes in the sources backing this up.
Right, there was that example, Sarah, friend of the source author apparently, had really persistent, dry, flaky skin, started using the oil topically, just mixed in her routine, and saw a big difference pretty quickly. Softer, smoother skin.
Exactly. That points right to its moisturizing emollient properties. But there's another layer here. It also has antimicrobial properties. Because it can help reduce bacteria on the skin's surface, it can be really effective for inflammatory skin issues like acne. So you get this combination: moisturizing, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial. That makes it helpful for a range of things, potentially even eczema and psoriasis, according to some sources.
And while we're on anecdotes, let's not forget Mike. Swears by taking a little bit every day for his seasonal allergies, right?
Yeah.
Which connects right back to what you said earlier about regulating inflammation internally, helping him breathe easier, presumably by calming that allergic inflammatory response.
Precisely. It ties back to inhibiting those inflammatory compounds we talked about.
It's a remarkably wide range of uses. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get practical. If someone's listening and thinking, all right, I want to try this. What are the ways to actually use it? How do you take it or apply it?
Yeah, good question. There are basically three main ways, depending on what you're aiming for. First, you can just take it as a supplement. The capsule form is easy, ensures you get a consistent dose. Second, you can actually incorporate it into your food, like drizzle a little bit over a salad, mix it into yogurt, maybe add it to a smoothie. A word of warning, though, the taste is strong. It can be quite peppery, pungent. So mixing it is often a good idea. And third, you can use it topically. Add a few drops to your face moisturizer or your hair conditioner. Pretty simple. Oh, and we should also mention those sort of broader testimonials you see sometimes, people reporting enhanced physical vitality, maybe better athletic performance, even improved sleep quality. It suggests that maybe the anti-inflammatory effects just contribute to overall better physical recovery and well-being.
That all sounds pretty amazing. But, to give the full picture, we have to talk about the other side. The caveats, the warnings. With any potent natural thing, there are safety considerations. If it's this powerful, are there potential downsides, side effects, interactions we need to be aware of? I mean, while it's generally seen as safe for most adults, moderation seems really important, right? What happens if you overdo it?
Yeah, moderation is definitely key. If you take too much, the main reported issue is digestive upset. Things like nausea, maybe bloating, or just general stomach discomfort. It is potent stuff. So starting small is always the smart way to go. Maybe just half a teaspoon a day to begin with. See how your body reacts, gauge your tolerance. And thinking about interactions. Because it has that strong anti-inflammatory action, it's theoretically possible it could interact with certain medications. For instance, anything affecting blood clotting, like blood thinners, warfarin, aspirin even. The oil itself might have mild anticoagulant effects, so that's something to be cautious about and definitely discuss with a doctor.
Okay, good to know. And what about using it on the skin? You mentioned allergic reactions earlier.
Yes, always do a patch test first. Put a tiny bit on your inner arm, wait 24 hours, see if there's any reaction before you slather it everywhere, especially if you have sensitive skin or known allergies to, say, other oils or spices. An allergic reaction isn't common, but it's possible. Starting small minimizes that risk. And of course, the big disclaimer that applies to everything. Talk to your doctor. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially something potent like this. That's extra crucial if you're managing any existing health condition or if you're pregnant or breastfeeding.
Right. Okay. So let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here for you, the listener? We've gone on quite a journey, from King Tut's tune all the way to modern labs. Black seed oil, Nigella sativa, it's clearly a powerful, multi-talented natural remedy. It's got this incredible history, backed now by science, focusing on compounds like thymoquinone and TQ. The benefits seem really broad, controlling inflammation, soothing the gut, maybe even protecting the brain, plus skin and hair care. And it really does sound like the Swiss Army knife of the natural health world, doesn't it?
It does have that reputation. I think the key for anyone interested is understanding that quality and standardization matter. Look for that cold-pressed oil, check for the TQ percentage, and then incorporate it thoughtfully. Start slow, see how your body responds. It's really about figuring out if it can be an effective part of your overall health strategy, complementing other good habits.
This has been really, really illuminating. And it makes you think, given that this one seed, Nigella sativa, has uses ranging from just flavoring food to potentially shielding our brain cells. It raises a pretty interesting question for all of us, right? How many other everyday ingredients, things just sitting there in our spice racks or kitchen cabinets right now, might be hiding similar, just overlooked therapeutic powers, just waiting for us to rediscover them? Definitely something to ponder. Okay, that's all for this deep dive. We really hope you feel well equipped now with the history, the science, and the practicalities of black seed oil. We'll catch you on the next one.